Another thing I wanted to ask you about, because a few years ago I had a bit of a breakdown. You're the ambassador for the mental health Walk in My Shoes. That's what I've read somewhere, and I just wanted to ask you about that. Is that a lot of musicians suffer from, being in a band this long, being on the road this long, being away from their families this long. It does have an effect on you, and some people, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, the list goes on and on and on. Yeah. I mean, is that something you started a few years ago for mental awareness? For musicians or just for the general people?
General. I mean, it was something that actually I think we in Ireland were ahead of the rest of the world. Is that we started to notice that very high rate of suicide in the young male population.
Yeah,
I mean, I think maybe the highest rate of taking your own life in Europe.
Oof.
So, I mean, some friends of mine that were involved in a psychiatric hospital said to me, look, would you come in and, just help rally some focus for this? And because I came through the addiction cycle process, so I had some recovery under my belt. And yes. I was a non-drinker, non-drug taker at this point. I completely identified with just that feeling of, whilst I couldn't say I had the same kind of depression, I could certainly identify with the feeling of hopelessness and not knowing where to go or who to turn to.
Absolutely.
And the other statistic that's kind of interesting, and I don't want to get all heavy on your head, that the great thing, if you happen to have mental health issues, is if you get treatment early, very, very high success rate. It's the longer you leave it before seeking treatment that it becomes more and more complicated to unravel what's going on.
I nipped it in the bud as soon as I crashed badly. I was put in hospital, but I came back strong. It took me a while. I mean, I didn't want to play bass, which I love, and I didn't want to go fly fishing, which I love. And then I realized it was going to be a long road to recovery with group therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness meditation. But I'm back, fully back now. I feel like the old Smutty. It's still a bit crazy, but now I have the paperwork to actually prove it,
Well, so what I feel is that you'll find some of the bravest people seeking recovery in these ways, and that is always inspiring to me. And I feel it's a privilege to be able to highlight these issues and be of help to people.
Also, you've done something I've read somewhere. I hope we don't run out of time, but you did something to do with the Irish government. I don't know if it was you and Bono or you and the band, with bringing schools with the music classes dissipated. Like they cut all this kind of stuff all over the world, drama, music. When I was at school, we always had a music class and a drama class, but all those things have been cut. And now my kids don't have a music class and a drama class. I mean, you have to go somewhere else outside the school. So you started to do that in Ireland, particularly in the part of Ireland that you were brought up in bringing music back to the schools.
Yeah, we again, it was one of those things that was kind of amazing. We were introduced to these people in Ireland that really wanted to bring sort of music tuition back into the schools, but there's a funding issue, as you just pointed out. So we said, well, look, we will donate some of the proceeds or all of the proceeds from our Irish concerts to this fund.
Fantastic.
And Rosaline Malloy, she said, well, look, I can take that and I can roll out Music Generation, which is free music tuition to any child that wants it in Ireland.
Wow.
And she said, once we have enough of the counties of Ireland rolled out, and we got up to about 9 of the counties, we were able to bring this to them. The Irish government were then prepared to match what we were putting into the fund. So we've rolled it out all over the place, and there was also some private money. There was a lot of donations from America. So
wow,
I think what's great about it, Smutty, is, you know, it's an opportunity that we all benefited from when we were kids, and to see it make a difference to children that, you know, had no idea what music could do in their lives, and just the excitement and the inspiration that they get from that tuition. And of course, what it also does is it creates jobs for musicians. So
absolutely.
You know, musicians now kind of can do a little bit of teaching as well as when they're doing their own gigs. So it's kind of a win-win for everyone.